So we had 3 gaps on the A and we had 3 gaps on the B. And so the majority of people who decide they want to stay in the original Medicare system will look at those gaps, those financial liabilities, and say, I don't want to take on that much risk. And so they'll take that risk and they'll transfer it to an insurance company. And when they transfer the risk to an insurance company, the insurance company issues them a Medicare supplemental policy or a Medigap. They're all the same. And anytime we transfer risk to an insurance company, what do we have to do? We got to pay them a premium to take the risk from us. Pennies on the dollar, frankly. Okay? Now, I live in the country. And one of the problems we have in the country is there's a lot of deer. And I've hit a couple deer here just in the last year and a half. And one of the deers, huge deer, $15,000 damage to my car. And I wrote a check for $500 when I went to pick up my car. Well, why not 15 grand? Because I transferred the liability of hitting that deer or hitting anything, right, to my auto policy. And that's all insurance is, folks. We're transferring risk. I hope my home never burns down. But if it does, I'm not worried about rebuilding it. Why? Because I've transferred the risk of it burning down to my homeowner's policy. And I pay them a premium for them to take the risk. So that's all we're doing. So when we look at the risk involved with all these healthcare costs that you're liable for in original Medicare, you can transfer the risk away, buy a Medigap policy, pay a premium for that. All right, now here's the way the system works. Medicare supplemental plans are represented by a letter. This lettering system was designed by Medicare. We call them standardized plans. We have A, B, C, D, F, G, K, L, M, and N. And each one of these letters just simply represents a different amount of coverage for you, a different type of policy, a different amount of risk that was transferred to the insurance company. All right, that's all the lettering system means. And it's standardized by Medicare, which means Medicare came up with all the rules. Now, these are boring. I'm not going to bore you to death with all of them, but I'm going to tell you about 3 that are the most common throughout America today. First of all is the plan called the F plan. Now, the F plan is a supplemental plan that will cover all the gaps that you and I just reviewed. All 3 gaps on the A and all 3 gaps on the B. And so if a person has an F plan today, here's what it means. As long as Medicare paid first, that F supplemental plan will fill in the gaps. We tell our clients on F plans, if you get a bill, don't pay it. Call us. Let's figure out what happened. Usually it's a coding error. That can be corrected and refiled. But as long as Medicare pays, that F will fill in all the gaps. You truly have 100% coverage. Now, the biggest issue with the F plan today is that many people cannot buy them. Okay? You can't. If you're born after January 1st, 1955, which means you're starting Medicare after January 1, 2020, you cannot buy F plans. Okay? Anyone born prior to January 1st, 55, starting Medicare prior to January 1, 2020, can buy an F plan. Now, by the way, it shouldn't break your heart because F plans are not a good value anyways today. Even people who qualify for them because of their birth date still are usually not buying them today. And I'll show you why here in just a minute. But let me just tell you about the F plan. It was the #1 plan for years. In fact, in some of the markets, we were the #1 agent. Sold more F plans in some markets than anyone, okay? So we loved them. Great, great plans. Okay? But here's what happened. The government actuaries were looking at the F plans and all the claims that came through, and they said these F plans are just killing us. Why? Because people pay a premium, and beyond that, there's no participation. And so everything was free. So, you know, guy wakes up in the morning and, you know, it's raining, can't go play golf, and doesn't feel really good, so I think I'll go to the doctor. I'm on an F plan, doesn't cost me anything anyways, right? So off to the doctor he goes. Multiply that times millions of people. And the government actuaries say these F plans are killing us. We have to have something beyond just a premium that's being paid to an insurance company. We want some participation. And so it took them a couple years to figure out how they're going to kind of phase out the F plans. Well, you gotta keep in mind, it's a government program. Lots of lobbying, Congress involved, and all people in that decision. So they finally decided the way they're going to do is to phase them out. So anyone born after January 1st, 55, who's starting Medicare after January 1, 2020, cannot buy an F plan. Anyone prior to that can buy an F plan, can always have an F plan, can always keep their F plans, all right? They're grandfathered in. Okay, now even though a person could, if they have the right birth date, buy an F plan, I wouldn't do it. Here's why. We like the next plan now for all ages that are on Medicare, and that's the G plan, all right? The G plan is the plan that covers all gaps except the annual Part B deductible. So if you're on a G plan, you're responsible for the B deductible. How much is that this year? Come on, I told you this. How much? $198. And that just simply means the very first $198 of anything that's flowing through that B system, right? Outpatient services, doctors, home health care, durable medical equipment, all those things coming through there, the first $198 is going to end up as a bill in your mailbox. So that means maybe a couple doctor visits, maybe some lab work, in addition to that. Maybe you have an MRI and it's the first $198 of the MRI. Maybe you have cataract surgery. It's the first $198 of cataract surgery. But the first $198 is going to end up as a bill in your mailbox. After that, we have 100% coverage. So the only difference in coverage between the F and the G is going to be that $198 once a year. That resets every January. Now, this is the plan. If you decide to take Medicare supplemental plans, this is the one that we like the best. If I was going on Medicare now, I'm only 59, I'm not ready yet, but I would take a G plan with today's market. And here's why. In most markets throughout the country, we're going to save in the neighborhood of about $40 a month. It could be a little less, a little more, but the point is, if I save $40 a month, in 1 year, how much have I saved in premium on the G plan? How much? $480. What did I have to spend? $198. Not a bad deal, right? My premium spread, my premium savings covers my B deductible. To us, that's a pretty good deal. So people today who can even buy an app plan, if they are buying it, what have they done? They typically have spent $480 for a $198 benefit, okay? Now, in my opinion, that's not a very good deal. If you think that's a good deal, here's what I want to do. When we're done with our workshop today, I'm going to stand at the door as you exit, and I want everyone to write me a check or give me a Visa. I'll take debit cards. Cash is preferred. And you give me $480, and I give you back $198. Would you do that? You're not going to do that. Sure not. No. That would not be wise whatsoever. But that's what's happening today when people buy F plans. They're paying $480 extra premium, ballpark, for a $198 benefit. Okay, that's why we think the G is a good value. Now, again, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you about our company. I work for a wonderful, wonderful company. We work very hard. We're brokers. We are part of several different groups. We are actually a part of the largest Medicare group in the country. Okay, Medicare agents. There's 54,000 of us. This last year, at the end of December, we were number 4th in the whole country. Out of 54,000, number 4. Okay? And that's not just me, I'm saying our company. And we worked hard and served people, and we're very proud that we get to help people. And we did all that. That particular award came to us because of G plans. Why? Because it's the best value. And if you're going on original Medicare, I would really recommend taking a serious look at the G plan. Let's look at the last one that I'm going to mention. Is called the N plan. Now, the N plan, again, a different letter, therefore different coverage amounts, different amount of exposure that you have. And you'll see on this item, we actually have 4 amounts of exposure. We're responsible, of course, for the B deductible. And again, my opinion, that is no big deal. That's manageable, $198. Here's my problem with the N plan. Excess charges, you are now responsible for. Now, high probability right now, no. Down the future, could be. And so I'm concerned about excess for the future. So in plan, you would always have to pay excess out of your pocket. And then every time you see a doctor or specialist or any kind of a physician, $20 copay, $50 to the ER. That's still a good deal. Now, what are you going to save between the G and the N? In most markets right now, you're going to save somewhere between $15 to maybe $20, sometimes $10 a month. So I want to save $15 a month. I save $180 in the year. And what did I just take on? Excess charges, okay? I wouldn't do it for that. I think that's too much of a risk for minimal savings. And so I'm not a real fan of N plans. Now, you will hear a lot of talk about N plans, and honestly, primarily because almost every insurance company that I'm aware of that is today is paying the agent a bonus when you buy an N plan. So they incentivize the agent to push N plans, so you'll buy them, and the agent gets paid a few extra bucks, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not wired that way. I've never done that in my career, and I'm never going to do it. I'm not going to try to sell you something so I make a few extra bucks. I don't think that's right. Now, there are other agents who feel just like I do. Others will push whatever's going to pay the biggest commission, okay? And that's why you hear a lot of talk about the N plans. They truly pay a bonus, okay? All right, so that's the different plans. There's other letters, but these are the main ones. And again, I would encourage you. Not telling you to buy that. I'm just saying I look at that financially. I think G is your best value. All right, now, one thing that's very critical for you to know is this. Original Medicare doesn't cover certain things. I look forward to having you join me in the next video so that you can continue learning the ins and outs of Medicare. When you're ready for personalized advice for your situation, all you have to do is go to MedicareSchool.com in order to get in touch with us. When you get there, you'll be given the opportunity to schedule a time to talk with an Enlighten You Medicare consultant. This is a completely free service for you, and there's no strings attached. We'd love to answer your questions, and if it makes sense, help you choose and get enrolled in the best plans for your needs.